It's just a loan. It's a loan where the senior homeowner is essentially loaning themselves their own equity, and life is not perfect because it's not a freebie. What happens is there are fees to get a reverse mortgage. It's like a loan, except the big difference is that the monthly payment, the interest, accrues and gets added to the loan amount instead of the senior taking a checking account and writing a check each and every month. The balance on a reverse mortgage goes up if the senior homeowner decides to skip the payment, right? They're not skipping it forever. They're just putting it off and delaying it, which we'll talk about a bit later. But isn't that an awesome short definition? What is a reverse mortgage? It's just a loan. That's all it is. So here are the 5 things. We're going to go over the myths and misconceptions. We're going to also talk about comparing a reverse mortgage with a traditional loan, because that's important to know the difference apple to apple. Why a reverse? Why are people getting reverse mortgages? Over 1.1 homeowners historically have gotten a reverse mortgage. There has to be a good reason for it. And by golly, there is, and you're going to see why people are doing a reverse mortgage. And there's about 8 most common uses of a reverse mortgage, and sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't fit. It's got to be the right loan for the right person at the right time for the right reason. Alternatives to a reverse mortgage, very important, because a reverse mortgage might or might not make sense. It might not be appropriate. We don't know, not until you look at the alternatives and kind of weigh them out and evaluate them side by side, apple to apple. And then the 5th part of this webinar is converting home equity into tax-free cash. Basically, how can I take the money? How's it work? The who, when, where, and how of reverse mortgages. Let's get to the first one, myths and misconceptions. My favorite candy. Well, actually, it might be payday, because who doesn't want a payday, right? But my favorite candy is M&Ms, which stands for myths and misconceptions. If you come to my live seminar in the restaurants of America across the Southland, y'all get a free bag of M&Ms, because you'll never forget the myths and misconceptions are truly M&Ms, leading to the 3rd M, mistake, because people think one thing and it's just not true most of the time. So we'll kind of explode through the myths. And the big myth and a huge myth is this: oh, the bank, the lender will own my home. I'm laughing not because that's silly, but it's still a myth and misconception that comes up. But as I mentioned earlier, it's just a loan. And if you take a loan out on a regular piece of property and just get a regular traditional loan, the lender, the bank, does not own your home. Remember, a reverse mortgage is simply a loan. If you take the word reverse mortgage, those 2 words, reverse mortgage, and cross out reverse, guess what's left? Mortgage, mortgage, mortgage. It's just a mortgage. It's just a loan. And a mortgage is simply a way for whoever loans you money is collateralizing and using your home as collateral, just in case something bad happens. They have the right on all loans, let me repeat that, on all loans, to send a notice of default and say, wait, you got to pay me back. You can't just not make payments and not cooperate with a bank. So the myths and misconceptions are, most important one is the bank does not own your home, you own the home. And when you pass away, the surviving spouse owns the home. But if both of you, in this example, husband and wife, both graduate to heaven, leave this beautiful earth we live on, leave the USA and go to heaven, then the kids, the heirs, whoever's in the will or the living trust, will get the remaining equity in the home.